If there is one scene you should show someone from 2017's Girls' Last Tour in order to convince them to watch the show, it has to be the 8-minute and 2-second ending scene of episode 5, simply titled The Sound of Rain. What's great about this scene is that it manages to encapsulate everything that makes the show enjoyable, while presenting it in a manner which clearly conveys the themes, displays excellent characterization, and captures the subtlety of the atmosphere and tone. This 8 minutes consists entirely of the two main characters, Chito and Yuri, weathering the storm inside a collapsed concrete shelter, during which they put out some helmets and cans and experience music, and then the storm passes. What glues this scene together, and really what holds the entire show together, is Chito and Yuri. Their voice actors provide voices which aren't completely monotone, but have enough flexibility to really bring life to these characters. These characters become the lenses to which we view the scene and thus the world of Girls' Last Tour. Although it's implied that they've known each other since before the tour, their attitudes towards each other oftentimes feel like they're only together because they're the only ones left, and other times it feels as though they could very well be sisters or best friends. This conflict of personalities can even be seen with the animation of the scene, as when Yuri whacks Chito, it carries a lot of colour and excitement, but when the tables are flipped, it's like that of a teacher or mentor. But if a sometimes rocky friendship was the only basis of their character, then this show would be as two-dimensional as 90% of the animation. What's especially interesting about their relationship is two things. Their entire understanding of humanity and the world comes from each other, and their perception as to what they deem valuable. Although the pair do run into multiple people during the run of the show, they often offer different perspectives to that of the main duo. For example, Kanazawa is all about drawing out maps on paper, and even though he owns a digital camera, he doesn't take photos of them, a decision which ultimately comes to bite him in the back. Or Ishii, who after spending ages building a glider to explore another city, feels nothing but relief after it comes crumbling around her. These views are in stark contrast to mainly Chito, as after one of her journals are burned, she is furious at Yuri. Yuri herself is often in contrast with these people, but she demonstrates it on an emotional level. Near the end of episode 1, Chito is suggesting that the two share a food ration, but instead, Yuri points her gun towards Chito and takes the whole thing. She values herself above Chito. This causes Chito to realize that people aren't inherently good. Yuri also raises her gun in response to Kanazawa, and even though Chito says she can lower her gun, she keeps it up and aimed at him. And even though Yuri assumes Ishii must be a good person for letting them use her showers, Chito mentions how not everyone is good, a lesson learned after the gun is pulled on her. But when it comes to knowledge about the world, that's when we see Yuri falter. She can't read, and so cannot understand a good majority of things written or inscribed in the world. She also lacks understanding of things in her environment. When the two settle into a room with a roof and 4 walls for the first time, Yuri has no clue as to what a bookshelf may be, but is more than aware of what a pantry is. Yuri sees no value in things that have no immediate benefit to her, whereas Chito is able to see things as valuable to a people or culture, such as her journals. This ties in with the show's two main themes, that of appreciation and that of hopelessness. Throughout the entire show we see the girls appreciate different things, from things which have a direct impact on them, like hot water baths in episode 2, to things which serve them no purpose but are art in their own function, as shown most clearly with the Church of Stone Pillars, to even things that can be more directly called art, as seen with the music in the rain scene. And this theme of appreciation is hand in hand with its theme of hopelessness. There's the old phrase, beauty is fleeting, and this show emphasizes this in every way. To make the hot water bath appear, the girls have to destroy some pipes which were previously delivering it to somewhere else. As they make their way across the land and to the church, they have to blow up a building and accidentally destroy one of the many stone god pillars. And even the music that they are able to create is only facilitated by a crumbling shelter of concrete. And while the message of hopelessness in the show has mostly been interpreted to being thankful for things, I think the emphasis of the fragile nature of art is more prominent. Even Chito's beloved journals are burned on accident by Yuri, just because she wasn't paying attention. And this is the beauty of the Sound of Rain. Once inside the concrete shelter, the girls start poking around and figure out that most of the things around them are hollow and make a noise. As rain falls onto the pieces, it starts making noise. Yuri combines discarded cans and even their own helmets to make this small song. And as the credits roll on by, we, the audience, get an understanding of what that means to them. It appears out of nowhere and there's a brief moment of beauty and humanity. Immediately after the credits, the rain stops. And just like that, the music, the art that was just created, is so effortlessly stripped away from them, never to be heard again. Which makes what Yuri says afterwards even more surreal. She asks, was the world always like this? And I think this is what hits home most for me, that no matter how hard you try, you can only preserve art and beauty for so long, before by one way or another, it is taken away from you. I've seen some suggest that the message of the show is that of, to combat the feeling of hopelessness, you need to appreciate the everyday beauty. But I think it's saying something a bit more melancholic, something more in line with the tone of the show. That you should appreciate the beauty that has been created by someone else, because the beauty may only exist for a small fraction of time, but its existence provides hope and awe into those who see it. And I'm sure that for everyone watching, they have at least one piece of art that resonates that same feeling with them, resonating like a raindrop falling on a can in the middle of a storm. I've been Kazimoto. Adios.